Welcome to the Let It Bleed podcast, a place where you can hear the liquor-fueled ramblings of two narcissistic wizards who conjure the essence of inspirational people every week and bring it straight to you.
And just how do you plan on doing that? Magic. Motherfucker.
And now for the wizards themselves, David Amaya and Phil Arroyo. Here we are, another week, another podcast, and we've got a special treat for you today. If you like movies and you want to know how movies are made, then we're going to talk about that a little bit.
You're probably not going to really understand it that much better than beforehand. But if you want to talk to a guy that's made some movies, well, you're still not going to do that. You're going to listen to us talk to this guy. But he's got some cool fucking stories.
Yeah. We got Nic Lewis on the show. He is a good friend of ours that met through David May, another guest that we had on the show. And he's worked on quite a few things in Hollywood. He's got an interesting background. He comes from the military. He's learned a lot from that and crossed over in his own interesting way into filmmaking and working on set as a producer and just, you know, being a badass dude.
Yeah, and it's good because we're so obsessed with this industry and we talk about movies and television so much, and so it's actually cool to sit down with our buddy who really, you know, touches all this kind of stuff. And, you know, when we share anecdotes, he's like, oh yeah, this time that I met this guy. And so just fun little name dropping kind of, I don't know.
A little bit of mysterious, you want him to drop the names on some of it too. You're like, wait, I want to know who you're talking about. But yeah, it's really cool. He's interesting. And it's a great episode for you to listen to if you are thinking about possibly getting into the world of production.
Or you just want to, you know, nerd out about some Hollywood shit. I know I like to. I could fucking sit here and talk about celebrity bullshit for like 2 hours, man.
Yeah. It's a lot of I kind of just stopped listening to that stuff. I don't know. It's
well,
weird.
Maybe not celebrity bullshit, but like, you know, I like directors and writers and producers and like really understanding how that's working. Like, I like knowing how, like, if that film production was like having trouble, you know, if there's like rumors from the set that like, oh, the DP got fired and they just went back for like $500,000 from reshoot. Like, I like that variety type shit.
Well, you are
not
very
so much like USA Today. Like, I don't care about what like the actors are doing in their personal life.
Yeah, you're very much in the know. Like, you could probably be like a part of like the IMDb database because you like know names pretty well. Like, I'm bad with that shit. I don't know names at all.
I pretty much am the IMDb database.
Yeah,
man. That's like, it's, you know, on Chrome when they show you like your most visited ones, that's up there because every fucking 10 minutes when I watch a new show or movie, I'm like, oh, that fucking guy. Oh, what else do I know him from? That's all we talk about. And I mean, have you ever like just forgotten the name of somebody or not known, or you're just,
I'm just
it was
terrible.
on the tip of your tongue? You know,
I don't know. I'm that guy that we were talking about before, where you have to say, "Oh, he's the guy from this," and like, "Oh yeah, totally." But I have no, like, you could say his name first, and I'd be like, who? What the fuck? Like, I have no idea. Like, no face to the name whatsoever.
Man, but my favorite thing though is doing it without having to use IMDb.
Yeah.
And finding that name finally, like in the middle of the night in bed, like 6 hours later, you're just like, oh shit, Lakeith Stanfield. That's right. You know.
Yeah.
That was a real example there. Like,
this happened like last night.
It's so good. Oh, this happened a long time ago,
okay.
And now we will never forget his name again. All hail bass Keith Stanfield. He's fucking dope.
Yeah, I still have no idea who you're talking about.
He's on Atlanta.
Yeah, well, that was interesting for me to. Okay, now I know who you're talking about.
He's
the guy that's like, he goes, you just made that up. He's like, everything's made up. Stay woke, motherfucker. What does he say? He said that to Donald Glover in Atlanta.
Yes.
That was one of my favorite parts.
Yeah, that dude. He's fucking dope, man. He's coming up. I like that guy.
Yeah, he's funny. But yeah, Nick's an awesome guy. We're glad to have him on. What do we got going on coming up this week, Phil?
Well, I do believe there's this little, collective called Our Psychedelic Lions Den, and they're having a little thing called Art in the Park this weekend.
All right, yeah, I'll take that over. We're having Art in the Park this weekend on Sunday.
I've got nothing to talk about. Wow, hop keto, fucking Steven Seagal your ass.
Yeah, we got the Art in the Park on Sunday. It's going to be the fifth one. We had to reschedule it, so it's going to be this weekend because the rain from a couple weeks ago, we didn't want to do that, and hoping that the weather's going to be amazing. We're hoping to see you guys all out there at Peak Park in Buena Park. Bring your friends, family, whatever. Bring whatever you want to do. We're just there to have a good time. So can't wait to see you. And from there, we will a lot of us will be going out to LA for the evening to Base Waffles by Fuzzy Puddles out in LA. I want to say which area is it in actually? Do you know?
Oh,
we'll get you the directions and link.
Yeah, we'll drop links like we normally do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's really cool because it's a place for you to go and listen and dance to bass music, but also eat some fucking waffles.
And also, wait, shout out to those guys at Synaptic, the guys who put it on, because they just got that write-up in Mixmag a few weeks ago.
Yes.
And you know what? Fucking hats off to them, man.
Right.
They're coming up. Like, they do a really cool show over there. And I'm happy to see that, like, the industry, really, like, the bigger players in the game are noticing. Like, that was really cool. So I'm super happy for those guys. So congratulations on all that.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I've still yet to go to a Base Waffles event. I've been to a few other events that they put on, but the Base Waffles is something that I'm really looking forward to. Yeah. I missed the last one because I got my car towed and all kinds of other shit.
Oh, yeah.
But I was really craving waffles. And I ended up having to settle on some shitty gluten-free waffles that we had at home randomly because I couldn't make it.
I went to IHOP. There was no bass music over there. It was some fucking bullshit, son. I went to Denny's.
Yeah.
Fucking no bass music over there either.
Yeah.
So, I mean, fuck everyone, man. The only place I know where I can get both is out there at Base Waffles.
Yeah, but just don't mention pancakes, though, because from what I've heard, they don't take kindly to folk that eat pancakes. It's kind of their thing. Fuck pancakes, I believe, is the actual slogan that they use.
Yeah, panphobia, I think it's called.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, everybody's got their thing. But anyways, we're going to go out there and...
what are we doing?
We're going to go do that on Sunday after Art in the Park. So you've got a great full Sunday lying ahead of you, and can't wait to see you guys.
And so, speaking of Sundays being long ahead of you, be sure to subscribe to us on iTunes or however you get your podcast. Don't think about that one too much. Oh, no, I'm going to do this every week. Yeah, and of course, be sure to follow us on social media as well at Let It Bleedcast on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. My man Dave, how are the good people going to find you and your antics?
My personal Instagram is hoodratstuff with 3 Fs. And if you want to see some dope-ass art, go ahead and follow the Psychedelic Lions Den, which is the art account I manage. And that is psychedelic_lions_den. And support the local artists.
And if you guys want to see some dope ass farts, you guys can follow me on Instagram. That is at Nobody Cares Phil, and on Twitter you flip that around. That is at Phil Nobody Cares.
Yeah. So, anyways, without any further ado, we hope you enjoy the show. And as always, let it bleed. Everybody's telling you stuff, and you're like, wow, I really thought I remembered everything about last night. I guess I didn't.
I know I've told you some stuff like the next day that was always fun. Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, go ahead. You can be on a titty timeout.
A titty timeout?
Yes. I forgot what I said to earn that, but I wore it proudly on my back.
Girlfriend, she punked you.
Yes, exactly. I wore it proudly on my back for most of the other day.
Right.
Yeah.
You gotta really fuck up to do that.
A titty timeout.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've heard such a thing.
Do?
I mean, that's pretty
I
fucked
only
up.
write down half the stuff, but I do have a good notebook going of the weird shit that goes on. But yeah, titty timeout was the other day.
Frankie's like, you cannot be talking about titties around me and expect me
Frankie,
not to.
go in your shame hut.
Yeah, Frankie, come in the shame hut.
Go sit in the shame hut.
All right. Hey.
She's got that ass just sticking straight up.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
it'll shake. She has a little kitty twerk going on.
I've honestly never seen a cat or a dog or any animal really kind of put on that type of, I don't know, what's it called?
That exhibition?
What's her Jessica Rabbit type of exhibition, you know?
She got a little swagger to it.
Strutting her stuff.
She's selling it.
Yeah, she doesn't know. It's deep in her because she wasn't taught this. It's somewhere ingrained in.
Right.
And so it's just this natural.
Is this her first push through that world?
No, I don't think so. I think this has happened quite a bit before. I'm the stepdad to this cat, and it
Frankie,
just moved in.
Why are you so thirsty? Look at her. She's Out of control. This
Like,
needs to be like on video right here. How
2 months
crazy
ago.
she
Oh,
is.
it's well documented already. I've got plenty of like I just got like a low space notification on my phone, and I was like, oh, there's 7 like 4-minute long videos of Frankie just doing weird shit.
She's having like imaginary cuddles with some, either that or there really is some like interdimensional cat in another frequency just like totally rubbing up on her right now, and she's feeling that.
Breaking the
She's
fifth
trying to
plane.
like sign language. Like there's demons in the house, and you guys aren't listening.
Well, little does she know I'm the demon.
Paranormal captivity.
Oh, I like it.
That's great. Now you got another project to work
That's-
on.
oh,
One
here
of
we go.
many projects, right?
I don't work with cats.
No?
Cats and kids. I've
Ah.
learned. I've learned.
The worst, right?
I love kids. I love working with kids, and everybody's always surprised. But it's so hard. Like one of the hardest things you'll ever do in your life, because you're there with a 7, 8, 9, 10-year-old for 10 hours, and they only have an attention span for an hour.
Yeah.
So you have to keep reeling them back in.
And don't they only have like there's a limit on like how many hours they can do in a day, right?
I mean, when you're a young filmmaker, you don't really listen to
There
that
you go.
shit.
Young hotshot filmmaker, not playing by the rules. I like that.
Yeah. Now, I can't get away with that anymore. Somebody would call child services.
And so what would be the reason why you could get away with it when you're younger? Just because you're willing to
Because
take
you play
the...
stupid.
Okay.
You know what I mean? That, like, if you're a young filmmaker and you're working with young actors, and I don't mean just physically young actors, I mean actors that are new, they need that reel. They need that information for to move forward just as much as you do. So
Can you
their
just a
parents
little
are
bit closer to the mic?
their parents are a little more willing to deal with that as well. You know what I
Sure.
mean?
Yeah.
Because you got studio moms.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of those. I used to do commercial shoots and ad agencies and stuff like that, and some of the egos in there are just astronomical.
Well, that's what Hollywood is. It's egos.
Yeah.
It's pure ego.
Yeah.
Some of it's okay. You also want your own ego. Like, I want to get to that level. I want to be like, where's my green M&Ms?
Right, exactly.
Bring
Yeah.
them now.
Any particular horror stories with children that you're able to even talk about?
Children or adult-like children.
Yeah, exactly.
It would be bad politics
True.
in my
True.
world to tell you the worst people. I was actually thinking about this on the way over here. I was like, who are the worst I've worked with? And I was like, well, I can't say them. I can tell you the best I've worked with.
Well, I mean, I don't
Or
necessarily mean the people, but like the circumstance, like what happened, what was the
interesting.
situation.
There's one movie star who me and him hate each other at an exuberant level. We hate each other.
Oh, fun.
Somebody you've obviously worked with.
Somebody I've been forced around a few times in my life now, and I mean, he's probably the top 5 movie stars on the planet,
Whoa!
and we fucking hate each other.
Wow.
Nice.
And I was at
I'm gonna go out on a limb and just guess Bruce Willis.
no.
I don't know why. I just thought like it just came to my mind.
I
It's
met
Bruce Willis.
him one time at an award show, and that's the only time I've really ever been around Bruce.
One of the top 5.
You probably
now
were-
you're just gonna have me guessing the whole show.
I'll tell you when the microphone's off.
Okay, right on. I'll wait.
And me and him got into it back in 2000 on a film set. And it was when I was still in the service, and he was filming a movie with the military. And we got into it. Years later, we ran into each other at a bar, got into it again. And then about 3 years ago, I'm with my best friend Carla, and we're at the ESPYs, and we're walking down the stairs behind stage, and it's this spiral old staircase that goes around and around and around. And we're about 4 levels down, and all of a sudden I hear, "That's that motherfucker right there." And I turn around, and he's standing there with his manager. And I'm just like, oh, shit, here we go. And my best friend, who I was actually telling the story to as we were walking down the stairs, because she had just said, oh, he's going to be here, is when it happened. So she just instantly grabbed me, pulled me out the first door. And luckily, there was no firefight in the middle of the ESPYs.
Jesus, man. That's cool. So you started working in film even during your military service? Or you were at least adjacent to it?
You know, I grew up in the film industry a little bit. My family, you know, I'm a Los Angelino born and raised. And my family's always been around it and family friends. And it was never, when I was younger, I was never interested in the film industry at all. I didn't care. And then when the war was over, you know, you come home, you're like, well, I don't have any skills for the real world. Like,
yeah.
Like, what do you do from infantry to civilian? Like, I'm not really going to be kicking down doors. I definitely don't want to be a cop. And so I drank. And that's what I liked to do for the first couple of years. And I ended up in Phoenix. I was the manager of Saddle Ranch in Hollywood.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I know that one. I've been there a couple times.
It's a meat market. If you're a guy, you've been there at least once.
It was you know, exponentially better in that regard than the one over here at the block. Let me tell you, or that
I'm sure.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
It was a lot better.
Because that one was just tourists and reality TV stars.
Okay.
Right? And so it was just kind of this weird meat market where you just go to hook up. It was kind of like pre-Tinder Tinder. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
it had
walking
that
through
vibe.
was a swipe.
Yeah, pretty much.
You know?
Yeah.
And I ended up going out to Phoenix for the company to open one in Scottsdale. And I wasn't happy. Left the company. And I was bartending at a Pink Taco. And this writer came in with Luke and Owen Wilson. And they were shooting a film out there. And me and him hit it off really well. His name is Andy Weiss. He's a brilliant writer. He's got a movie coming out this year called White Boy Rick, about a guy who's been in prison for like 40 years for a crime he committed when he was 17. So Matthew McConaughey, like it's going to be a big film, so I'm really happy for him.
Oh,
But
cool.
I met him at the bar, and he was there with his then girlfriend, now wife, and the Wilson brothers and the director, and we all just kind of hung out. And I was like, well, shit, man, this guy seems like he's got his shit together. Like, you know, I can do that. Famous last words, man.
Oh, yeah.
We're now, what?
So you went all the way out to
9 years
Scottsdale
later.
to kind of get away from a lot of this, and it somehow found you again.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, that was the thing.
a little bit.
That was the hitting point. It was like, fuck, I left home, and Hollywood is still kicking me in the face. I should probably look into this. And at first, I wanted to be a cameraman and a cinematographer, and I wanted to work with cameras, and I hated it.
Oh, really?
I did a few films, and it was miserable. I just didn't like being around cameras.
So what was it? Was it a thing that, like, what inspired you to want to do that? Was it just a quick thing? Was like, hey, that sounds cool. Let me do that. Or did you kind of have like a passion for it beforehand?
No. Actually, I signed up for film school after I met him. I signed up at a local community college for film school, and then like a week later, I got a job as an intern on a feature film with Will Ferrell, called Everything Must Go.
Oh,
Yes, I was seeing that,
nice.
yeah.
I actually really, really like that one because it's kind of the one where you see him as just like a normal dude.
Not a comedy.
Yeah.
He's a drunk. He's living on, and I related to that at the time.
It's like a dark comedy, right?
It's a dark comedy.
Yeah, dark. Yeah.
People don't realize the little boy in that. That's Biggie Small's son.
Oh, really?
That's Christopher Wallace Jr.
What?
So.
Oh, wow.
We had Faith out there every day.
No
and,
way. Oh, that's awesome.
It was really cool, right? Because
Yeah.
I grew up in the '90s. Like Biggie was a thing. Like that
Yeah.
was legit for me.
And even to be around that and have faith, man, that's a trip
Yeah.
right there.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
You do enjoy working with him, though, right?
Who?
Will Ferrell.
Will is super cool.
Okay.
He's super chill. He's not a comedian like all the time. He's just a normal guy. Like off. You know,
Really?
we played
Okay.
catch like after lunch before we start shooting again. Because the yard, you know, it's the guy living in his front yard and he's having a yard sale, selling off all his stuff before he finds out that his whatever. I
Right.
won't spoil it.
If you haven't
I
seen
think
it
I
yet.
think the moratorium's up on that one. That was
Yeah.
like 8,
He finds
10
out
years
his
ago.
wife is banging Michael Pena, who's his best friend. And so in the front yard, there was all these props, and we would play catch after lunch every day. And you know, sometimes Christopher Wallace would make hot dogs off the grill that's in the movie. Like we just fire it up, and he'd be over there, and the kid can rap. I mean, he was 10 or 11
I mean,
years
he
old.
better. He's born with that.
He was,
That's
yeah,
awesome.
He could flow.
That was great. Yeah.
So that was cool. but I hated being around cameras. It was miserable. And I did a few more films, and I was like, this sucks, man. And I read this screenwriting book, and I was like, for some reason, this woman's book like hit me. I was like, oh, I get it.
What's the name of the book?
I don't remember.
Okay.
I have tried to look up this book again multiple times over the years. Like, who was? I know she was a professor at UCLA, but I don't remember.
Okay.
What her book was. I think I even hit her up on Facebook, and she did not reply.
Oh wow.
Hate her.
What a punk ass bitch.
You're trying to give her another sale and some promotion. And
I was like trying to
nothing.
thank her. Like, your book was super cool, and it was informative for me.
It's like, how many people are really hitting her up about her?
Oh,
book?
she
Come
must
on,
be
right?
inundated with hundreds of those a day. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's
This
not like
baller
she
book
can't
about
respond to
screenwriting.
100 emails. What a fucking she's so hoity-toity.
Hollywood, man. Hollywood.
You know, she's probably making big bucks writing films if she works at UCLA. Is like, that is the screenwriter school.
Yeah, there's a lot of...
Like USC is the director's school. Like, if you're a director, you want to go to USC and be the top there. If you're a screenwriter, you want to go to UCLA.
So why is that though? Like, what makes it separate in that regard?
The way that they teach their programs, I guess. You know, UCLA is really, really consistent on churning out quality screenwriters, people who are focused on the craft of screenwriting, not just writing a bunch of pages. You know what I mean? Because trust me, my first 5 or 6 scripts are terrible.
Everybody's are.
Terrible.
But you gotta write those first 5 or 6 to get to the good ones,
You
man.
gotta empty out the trash can first. You know what I mean? Like, your head is just filled with stupid shit, and you don't know what the difference between, you know, a good story is or a good scene. Like,
Yeah.
So when you're young, like, this scene's really cool, I'm gonna write a movie about it. And
Yeah.
it's like, well, that was only 4 minutes. Like,
Yeah.
you got another 90 to go, kid. Work that out.
It's,
Oh, man.
it's so fun. Like, I love like finding one piece of a movie, and I'm like, I feel like they're working backwards from like this one thing, which was awesome because
Yeah.
everything they just did backflips to get to this point.
Well, there's like a great monologue with some character, and it's like one of those monologues that gives you goosebumps.
Yeah.
right? And you're like, that was why they made this.
Yeah.
That was the reason.
I could think the same thing too of like, now that you said that, because as a kid, you know, your imagination runs wild and you'll be listening to your Discman, your Sony Discman or whatever in the car on a family road trip or something, and like
Yeah,
you
I
have
had a
this
tape
imagination.
cassette.
Yeah, I had this too. I had that too. But you hear a certain song that has this like cinematic feel.
Oh,
You
yeah.
can imagine some Scorsese like scene going on or some shit in your head, and you're like, oh, I want to think about a movie about this, and then you're like, get going. You're like, okay, aside from that one thing, like I don't have a movie to go off of.
Yep.
You know, totally.
That was the first 5 films I wrote, and first 5 years of writing was that. I mean, literally, I didn't write my first quality piece that somebody actually looked at and said, shit, that's good. Like, this is a good film, until last year.
Well, that's awesome. I mean, to write a whole screenplay is pretty fucking intense.
I have dozens. You can have them.
Shit. So you would say that that's your probably your passion now more than anything in the film industry is screenwriting?
No, you know, I think it's directing, but directing isn't something that you can just like, oh, I'm going to be a director. You
Yeah.
know, unless you got, you know, a couple million stashed away or a rich uncle.
Unless you're
You got to work your way into that.
What's his name? Disaster artist, Tommy Wiseau.
Oh yeah.
Just come up with a random amount of money somewhere.
That guy's a maniac. He's a maniac.
We heard some stories about him from our buddy Jeff, who.
Oh, he's so much fun. He's one of my favorite like humans on the planet because he's just an enigma.
Yeah.
Tommy Wiseau.
Tom Wiseau?
Oh yeah.
Jeff is too.
Oh yeah. As
So
is Jeff. Yeah.
This is Jeff.
He's such a strange, like, awkward, uncomfortable person to be around. Like, you're just like, I don't... You know, when you're at, like, a party or a club or whatever, and somebody introduces you to that guy, and you're just like, when is this fucking conversation going to end? That's every moment with Tommy Wiseau.
Yeah, it
Like,
just
you
has to be
man.
someone like, you know...
So do you have a Tommy Wiseau story?
just meeting him, like, in LA at bars and clubs and wishing the conversation would end.
You got to be
never-
someone like James Franco who can see the potential.
I can tell James Franco thinks the same thing, though. When they won the Golden Globe and Tommy reached in to say something, James Franco stepped in front of him and pushed him out of the way. I was like,
I did see
he
that.
gets it.
Yeah.
He gets it.
Yeah, he's kind of wrangling him a little bit.
Yeah,
You
he's
can
like,
tell.
oh, dear Lord, don't embarrass us right now. Like,
Oh,
you know,
man.
it's sad, Tommy, because Tommy's been around since I was a kid. That movie was shot years ago.
Yeah.
And people, when I was younger, would talk about going to see The Room at you know, the whatever crap hole theater in Santa Monica was playing it again this Friday, and you know, people would go and it was a spectacle, and Tommy Wiseau was always there because that was his fame, and that's how he had his name. And surprisingly, in LA, it's, you know, it's kind of a glib culture that people actually like starred him. Like, he actually had fame, like even before all this. Like,
yeah, in a weird roundabout way, he kind of, I mean, the story of Tommy Wiseau, he kind of does find what he was looking for.
Yeah,
he just kind of stumbled into
just
it
a
accidentally.
bad way.
Yeah,
just because he's almost a parody of himself.
It was manifestation at its finest, right there.
I think it was masturbation.
yeah.
Hey, well, that's a way that you could charge up one of those magic spells, right? According to.
I mean, yeah, that is true. I hesitate to, you know, because Tommy Wiseau strikes me as somebody who, like, oh, I feel like we're this close to unveiling something really horrible about him. You know,
or
I
that
feel
he's
like
an alien and that he's not from this earth and that aliens.
So I don't want to be like, oh, I'm so happy for him, like
Right.
that enthusiastic.
You don't want to be that guy that's like, oh, good for him. He's a
like,
child molester.
Yeah, I'm like, where did
Shit.
that money come from?
Yeah.
Why is he trying this hard? Like,
Right? He was in the organ trade back in the Ukraine.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
Some shit like
oh,
that,
shit.
you know.
Yeah, no, I mean, at this point in Hollywood, I think you have to say that about kind of everybody now.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
Yes.
you gotta
Hashtag
almost
me
have
too
to,
is
yeah,
like,
Yep.
you have to just be like, hey, I don't support anybody until they are proven not guilty of anything for the rest of their life. It's like, I can't support nobody.
I had reached out to one of my heroes just literally a few months ago, and this guy's an Oscar-winning writer, and he's amazing, and he's a brilliant writer. But it came out that he was he's a sex predator.
Oh, man.
And I was just like, you know, I can't even talk to you again. Like,
Yeah.
It's heartbreaking a little bit.
all you know, they say never meet your heroes.
Yeah.
Never meet your
Yeah.
heroes because they're only human and they're gonna be as bad as the rest. Unfortunately, he's worse than most if he did what he did. I'm not.
Yeah.
That was one thing I was big about with this whole thing, especially if you're in Hollywood, where you're watching this kind of crumble and implode on itself. I tried to make sure that I didn't judge before, you know, it was clear what happened. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I didn't want to be the guy that just jumped on the bandwagon because we're, as a country, as a culture now, we're so magnetized and polarized by everything that happens.
Yes.
Where we're like, oh, you know, this person said this. Well, boycott that. You know, hashtag boycott.
Everything's turned up to 11. You know,
Yeah.
just we're not giving enough time for context for a lot of stuff.
Yeah. And so I've been really big about waiting to find out information and not just, you know, the first hashtag that comes up. And it's like, okay, well, let's see where this goes before I form an opinion, you know?
Yeah. I mean, there's some of them that I think, you know, a lot of the signs were there that I'm okay with jumping on. Weinstein, I mean, everybody
you know,
kind of knew that one.
I don't know
I mean,
any
not
fucking thing about the guy.
not
Never
that
knew
far,
anything
but
about
I
you know,
knew
there are
him as
things we
a
can
monster
thank
before
Weinstein
him.
for. He did get us.
Oh,
Did get us some really great filmmakers.
Absolutely.
He brought out some really great films.
No denying that.
Unfortunately, those are financed off the backs of women who were saying no.
Yeah.
And that sucks in that part. But as an artist, I'm like, oh, you know, there is an art there. It's just not with him. He was just the son of a bitch behind it who deserved to get hit by a truck.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
If he could have just left his piggy bank behind, I'd have been cool with it.
Yeah, it's a weird thing though because you know it's definitely something that needs to be called out in every case. But you know when you really go back and think like, oh fuck, how different would it have been? All the people that we really love and idolize that would have like in today's time been called the fuck out. And, you know, we wouldn't like them anymore. So like you're saying, it's like, you know, really just treat everybody like they're a human being. And I think in a certain way, it's kind of good because we're starting to humanize these celebrities who we've put on these pedestals, you know?
And we should.
Yeah, exactly.
Some of them are real bastards.
Yeah.
I mean, there are some real dicks out there.
You know?
I could tell you stories that would blow your mind about people you thought were the sweetest people ever, and they're just the horrible human beings. And that'll come out. You know what I mean? Eventually, they'll get busted.
I feel like it does eventually all come around now. You know,
Yeah.
I feel like those chickens will come home to roost for anybody. I feel like
I hope for some of them.
if you're good, I mean, maybe I'm just being a little bit naive or optimistic, but you know, it's like I feel like you really cannot do that for that long to that many people.
Yeah.
And really not end up dying the villain. You know.
Yeah.
And to me, I mean, I feel like that is a great punishment, which is if you've already some of these guys are so successful, they've already had this entire life and all these things. If you can take their legacy away from them,
Yeah.
and like I take a lot of comfort knowing that Bill Cosby will die knowing that that is his legacy and not actually all the great things that we did know about him before then.
Right.
You know, because you can't deny, like, Bill Cosby advanced, you know, the African American community.
Yeah. Through black
decades
television,
with the
comedies.
Cosby Show.
He approached subjects that no one was willing to touch on within his show. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But now I look back and I go, well, I don't know. It's such a tough
It's
one.
a complicated situation.
It is.
And I had to, you know.
It's tough.
Get rid of
But I
people who
remember being a kid and thinking, I don't trust Bill Cosby. I remember, you know.
You got that good sense about you.
I had that sense about him. Because there was something about him. You know what I think it is? Anybody who's that good, you know what I mean? Who's that wholesome, there's got to be something dark there.
Oh God, I'm just dreading now that you're saying that the day that they come out with something terrible about Jason Momoa, because like that guy,
he seems like his total sweetheart.
He
too.
seems like the total.
I can attest. Jason Momoa is the coolest, nicest dude I think I've ever met.
Yeah.
Period.
So then that just kind of just takes away from the idea of what you just said, though, that everybody, most people,
I bet you if you
Dig
gave
deep
Jason Momoa a couple beers,
search his Pornhub,
yeah.
or something, maybe find some.
I'm
crazy
looking for
shit.
applesauce. Why are you jumping to Asian ass porn? Jeez, Google.
Well, you know, to be fair though, that's one of the things that I'm always just like, if people were to go look at my history on that, not to get into that, it's just because of the way that it is. It's like nobody watches porn for the story or what it is anymore. It's like you just go onto those things and you're like looking through for a hot chick or somebody you're attracted to or whatever.
Yeah.
And then you look at it, but it's got something to. It's always got something to do with
Stepdaughter.
people banging
Yeah,
sisters. What the fuck is going on with that?
There's a lot of
But
that
we are making it worse by watching those,
Yeah.
even though we're not watching it for that, because that's what the search engines are putting out there.
I mean,
They're
let's
like,
be honest. There doesn't even really have to be sound. Like the story of this is not.
Yeah,
important.
really, exactly. But
Like-
that's the weird thing is when people go look at it, they're gonna be like, "Whoa, he was into some weird fucking shit."
That's
That's,
some
all
weird-
they have to go off. I'm not there to defend my honor. It's
I
like-
would be in Guantanamo. Because as a writer, like I'm constantly looking up. Like today, I was actually talking with a friend. I was looking up ricin poisoning, how to kill people with ricin.
'cause
Right?
you want to know for your.
I have a
screenplay.
character
Yeah.
who's interested in ricin poisoning, and I'm just sitting there. And my friend walks up to me. I go, "Dude, I wouldn't talk to me right now. I'm going to federal prison." Because I'm like, how does ricin poisoning kill you? Videos, and I'm looking because I have to know like these. things.
You're on a list. No
I've
doubt.
looked up nukes. Like, what is it that makes a nuke go off? How do I make a dirty bomb? Like,
Oh, man.
somewhere on a federal list.
I'm pretty sure you just got us on a list right now.
I mean, it's possible. My theory is though is that they probably have figured out by now from like IMDb or horrible things I've worked on that okay, this guy's not a terrorist. He's just a really, really bad judge of character for himself.
Yeah.
That's my theory. I probably get attacked by 7 guys in full black when I leave tonight.
Sheesh.
That's actually why we're here. All right,
This
guys.
And execute.
Yeah.
So
man.
when you went overseas to the military, you were served for 10 years. Over 10
yeah.
years.
Yeah.
And how many years were you in Iraq?
In total, I don't know, close to 5.
And when you
It's kind of broken up. Like,
right.
so it's between Iraq, Afghanistan, being in the Persian Gulf in general. There's a lot of bad people out there.
So the whole time though you were out there, was it ever in the back of your mind, like Hollywood movies, any of that? None of that had come.
Never
to light
even
yet?
thought of it.
Wow.
Never even thought of it.
Okay.
And still to this day, I don't write military.
Yeah, I was just about to ask, how do you feel like 10 years in the service? Does it really inform any of your filmmaking now?
I think that I like to think that my time in service gave me a different kind of outlook on life than what most people have. You know what I mean? You can only see that stuff so much before it starts to affect you. And so I don't think most writers are probably pretty timid in the most part. I'm sure there's a couple.
I've seen a handful of writers' rooms before, and they're not exactly Marines. Yeah.
Yeah, they're not big guys.
Well, so based on what you're saying, then what out of all the movies that you have seen that depict war,
This came up today.
Yeah.
When I was talking about being put on a federal list. The guy was like, "Tell me this."
Which movies do you think were, the most realistic, or at least brought back some sort of sense of like, holy shit, that's
I think the one that looks the realest, physically, just physically, not story wise, but looks the realest, is The Hurt Locker.
okay.
That is what Iraq looks like. The cars look like that. The people look like that. It was accurate.
Wow.
The story itself is not.
Okay.
The one that's the closest to what everyday life is like in battle would be the one where they don't do shit all day and they're miserable about it. Grunt or whatever it is. I don't remember.
Like Jarhead.
Jarhead.
Yeah.
That's what most battle is like, honestly.
I honestly haven't seen that one.
It's a movie about some guys who go off to war and they want to fight, but there is no fighting. Like,
And that's Jake Gyllenhaal?
99% of 99% of combat is sitting on your thumbs. We don't fight every day. We go outside, we look for fights, but that doesn't mean they attack every day, and
Right.
it doesn't mean we have a target every day.
It's definitely like not like wars depicted. It's not like Vietnam and not like World War, any of the world wars.
Most firefights last no more than 15 seconds,
right.
and the ones that do are absolutely terrifying, and you do not want to live through them.
Wow.
They're more like the Black Hawk Down when they last a long time.
Oh, wow.
You're just exhausted and you're
That's
sweating
a brutal movie.
and you got dirt in your eyes and your ears are ringing and but that's very very few and far between.
Okay.
That is not a thing. Yeah, so you kind of have to mix them all up to make a true war story.
Yeah.
But you can't do that because Hollywood doesn't want to see the boring stuff.
Now, what
they
about
wanna
the
be
training aspect of it? Would you say that, and obviously it was a different time, but would you say that Full Metal Jacket was something that was like more accurate to the way that they treated people in the training camps, or?
Well, I joined before the softer side of the military came out, so it was still kind of like that.
Okay.
You know what I mean? No physical contact. You never had your instructors physically hit you. They'll push you around a little bit, but they won't physically hit you, and it's pure torture. Like, that's their job.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's to create a team atmosphere, which means the boot camps, the recruits, should all learn to hate that person, and that's what pulls them together for the first time. Is to hate this human. So we break down individuality and create a single hatred for one person, which brings them all together. And it's no different than what you've experienced in high school when all your buddies hated that one guy.
So, but did you completely fall into that, or did you kind of know?
You don't
that
really
was
hate
go-
him.
You don't really hate him. You just
No.
have to pretend.
It's not a pretend. I mean, you would definitely punch him in the mouth if you could.
Because you got like to.
It's just release.
Yeah.
Right? It's frustration.
Like an obnoxious brother or something
Yeah,
like that.
he's
It's
just
like,
the bully of a friend, but he cares for you at the same time. Like,
Right.
he would never let anything happen to you. Mm-hmm. So you hate and love him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's one of those hard relationships. I remember I got drunk with my instructor after boot camp. I saw him like 3 months later at a bar
that's
outside
right.
of Chicago, and we got loaded.
Yeah.
And then we got into a fight. So
Wait, you guys like together?
Yeah, we
no,
started
we
touching.
swung on each other.
Oh.
Shit faced in a parking lot, dead of winter in Chicago, freezing cold, drunk as hell, missing every punch.
Damn.
It was kind of perfect, actually.
Oh,
What
good
a
times.
brotherhood, where
Yeah.
you could just start throwing punches at each other and just kind of,
Yeah.
it's still not even
Yeah.
be anything different.
It's the same thing in combat too. Like, I can think of guys who I could care to never see again. Yet if they called me tomorrow and said they were in trouble, I'd be there in a
Right.
millisecond.
Literally, like, you guys are brothers. You
Yeah.
guys- it's a family, a bond that nobody
Oh, yeah.
else has ever shared.
I can punch you. No
Yeah.
one else can.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Got it.
Like,
Totally.
and it's just like your boys now.
Yeah.
Like, if you go to a bar and somebody's picking on your boy,
Oh yeah, it's on.
even if you're mad at your friend,
Yeah.
well, I can be mad at you,
Yeah.
but he's not allowed to be. Who are you talking to?
Oh yeah, you see it in the workplace all the time.
Yeah.
You have that one guy that you're just annoyed of, and you guys talk shit every day. But if somebody else comes and talks shit, you're gonna have their back.
Yeah.
because that's
You jump
it's
off.
your brother. Exactly.
It's a family. It's a brotherhood and sisterhood. Not a lot of girls in what I do, but no girls in what I do.
Yeah.
Oh God, I remember.
man.
the
There's
first
no
time I
girls
smelled
in the military or
No,
the,
Well,
in the
directing.
branch that in the work that I did. So in the infantry. Okay. When I was because I served in 2 branches. I served in both the Navy and the Army. And in the Navy, you definitely had females. I was a firefighter, paramedic.
Wait, how was that? Did people just give you constant shit for like doing that? Because I know that you guys are pretty tight with like, you know, what part
our branches.
Yeah.
Navy, Army is definitely, but that's really, so that's the confusion because we hear about like the really the Navy and the Marines hate each other.
Okay.
And that's on the enlisted side. But the Navy and the Army, like you hear go Navy, beat Army, and that's football. And that's officers. And the enlisted don't give a shit about officers.
Got it.
We do not care about officers, right? I mean, I had officers throughout my career where I was like, oh, you're a cool dude. You know what I mean? And we accept you. But another officer, and you're just like, dude, you're a limey, low-life piece of shit. Like, you don't know what real work is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you ain't going out in the shit with us.
Yeah.
You're not doing any physical labor, and so we're just not putting up with them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Enlisted don't like officers
Okay.
because they're lazy and they're entitled.
I got you.
You know what I mean?
It's like the manager that just came, like the manager that's never worked in the restaurant, but he
Yes.
like is your manager because you got a business degree, and
Yeah.
he's like there trying to tell you how to serve tables.
And he showed up because he can. Because, yeah, that's what they were looking for.
Yeah.
And now he's giving you orders on how to run tables. You know what I mean? Or how to bus.
Right.
And it's like, dude, go bus then.
Yeah.
Like, earn your stripes.
So, but before you became a manager, you obviously did you go climb the ladder, or did you just jump into being a manager at Saddle Ranch?
Oh, no, I was actually working as a bodyguard.
Oh shit! You just like the list of professions just keeps on fucking
you have
growing.
no
here.
idea.
The most interesting.
I didn't know
man in the
who
world,
I
Nic
wanted to
Lewis.
be.
Right.
I didn't know what I wanted to be or what I wanted to do.
You just had the wherewithal to go and like do something and figure it out because
I've never been a lazy person.
yeah, I can tell.
I can't sit.
It sounds like you've got just like this. You're like Major Pain.
Yeah.
You just got that itch that needs to be
Like I'm
scratched.
drinking Mountain Dew right now because I know when I get home tonight, I've got writing to do.
Bro,
So
what
it's
are you
like,
drinking Mountain Dew for? Didn't you just have that thing that you like had to go to the hospital for not that long ago because of it?
Yes.
What's going on, man?
It's a kidney stone, and they're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
I got them either way, so fuck it. I'm going to embrace it. Besides, when you pass a kidney stone, you get morphine.
Oh,
I like morphine.
My grandfather just did this in the hospital, though he's in his 80s.
I bet he still liked the morphine, though.
Yeah, he did.
He was like,
yeah,
shit.
when you're 80, fuck it.
Yeah. No, totally.
Yeah,
but
morphine-
that's
No,
what I'm saying.
trust
He's
me,
in
when
his
you're 38, fuck it.
Yeah.
It's not changing. My life isn't going,
Well, it is Mountain Dew. Reason 147 why Taco Bell is much better than Del Taco.
Oh,
But,
yes.
yeah, see?
Good call.
We got
call.
we got a Team Purple and Lister on our hands over here.
He likes Del Taco?
Oh
He's a
no,
Taco
no,
Bell.
no! No, we're both firmly on
okay.
the side of Taco
Yeah, okay.
Bell.
We actually I don't know if you saw that thing that I posted like last year.
You have your feud with celebrities. We have our feud with Del Taco.
Yeah. So I posted this thing basically to kind of just poke fun at the way that our nation's divided, and it seemed to be, I prefaced it with this whole like, we're all so divided and it's really frustrating, but I just want to know what you guys think. Tell me what your opinions
If anybody
are.
said Del Taco,
Oh, they did. And that's the thing is this is one of those arguments that just goes.
they should be speed bumps.
and it just keeps going.
Dave May. David May is a Del Taco guy.
Yes, he is. Fucking.
And what a douchebag for that.
But you know what? He's a double crosser, dude. That guy is a double agent. That guy goes back and forth. If it depends on who he's with, because he'll be. I like Taco Bell sometimes. I'm down to go there.
Of course, he wouldn't take a stand for anything. My God.
Of
son
course. Of course. Something so important. This
Dave-
is why there's no progress. This sort of complacency.
You know what it is?
and
Is Dave May
indifference.
can't be
Confrontational?
confrontational.
Yeah.
He wants to be like, that's cool, bro. Bro, listen. I called him on the way here. He's like, hey, what's up, dude? I'm like, what's up, man? He goes, nothing, going to my dad's. Taco Tuesday.
This is exactly what he'll do. I heard you guys talking about me on the podcast. I don't know why you're just doing that. And then you're like, then he likes it. He's
You'd be like,
yeah.
Oh, you can look
So
at
it's
our
not
show
okay.
breakdown. There's
Yeah.
always 3 minutes devoted to Dave May every episode and just shitting on him.
Does it do that? Do you guys do that?
But it ends up working out that way.
Sometimes.
Well,
just
Dave
about.
May's a screenwriter.
Yeah.
But he just, I don't know.
He's the one
Gotta
who
get through the
he's
set
going
scripts.
through. He's going through his part right now. I know where he's like for me creatively. I'm not
Yeah.
a screenwriter, but I'm the type of guy like Phil or anybody else, and he'll tell you like I just get a bunch of ideas all the time of what I want to do, and I never really stick to any one thing for too long. So I know I got to move and move fast with it. And I had all these crazy creative dreams, and I asked him though. I said, he's the one who turned me on to Save the Cat, that one screenwriting book.
That's a great book, yeah.
But yeah, so I mean, that's still something that may come later on down the line. But like, I had to go through a lot of stuff before I finally got this creative energy that like now I have certain things from life, experience from life to go.
I think they call that sobriety.
No. Actually, I honestly don't. No. See, for me, it's gone up and down, and I mean, I started it with my music, so I lived on my own and I was partying. I was like your total like typical party guy. We had a house with 4 other servers in there, and 3 different restaurants. So the parties that we had. I
did my 20s.
Crazy, yeah, exactly. And so 25, I go to Europe, and I come back from Europe, and I for some reason then was able to, even though I was a musician before and I wrote songs and stuff, but I hated them. I hated everything I wrote because I'm picky. I know I feel like I have pretty good taste. Some people say I'm a picky asshole, but I couldn't write a song that I liked. And then when I came back from Europe, there was this sort of natural, I guess you're right, a sobriety thing, even though I partied and whatnot over there, but there was this sort of natural high that this big trip gave me, and coming back and just having all this different perspective really allowed me to feel just, get that fuck it, who cares? Just not care about what other people think and start just putting ideas and stuff out there.
I wish I had that.
And I'm sure that with what you're doing, there's a lot of standards that you kind of have to follow. I mean, to get by.
Screenwriting isn't creative anymore.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, there's creation in it.
Right. But I think back to what we were just saying to close off that idea. I think that he's going through the tail end of that era where
I think he's finding a way. He's finding it. He graduated with his degree, got it in screenwriting, and it was like, okay, now I'm going home, because you don't leave college and film school with a job.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Like, oh, you graduated film school. Here's $104 million. Go make Bright.
Yeah.
And it's like that's not how it works. And so you kind of go, okay, what the fuck do I do? You know what I mean? And he came home, and I think he's figuring it out. He actually texted me the other day. He's like, dude, my final draft isn't working right. He was trying to get it to work, and he couldn't figure out why it wasn't. And I was like, all right. And he was like, never mind, I got it. I was like, well, fuck, don't text me.
What? Yeah, why bother?
Like, you could have figured it out before you texted me.
He just looking for attention, man. Don't give it to him.
Oh,
just like the damn cat.
Fucking Dave May.
Yeah. I told him and my other buddies, like, you guys got to start writing, do something with your writing. If anything, even if it's not screenwriting like you want, just do.
Well, you just got to start. Just write. Get those 5-6 scripts out of the way.
Do some blogs for
I write minimum of 6 hours a day. Minimum.
Wow.
Nice.
Minimum. A lot of days I get up to about 10 hours.
Where do you go for that? Do you stay at home? Or
no, I used to write in my house, and I found that.
Speaking of which, would you like some of these?
No, I'm good.
You're good? Okay.
I got work to do tonight. I'm writing tonight.
Holy shit.
But I found that when I wrote in my house, I was never quite home.
Mm-hmm.
And I was never quite at work. So, like, I'd go to sit down, and I'd be like, fuck, I should be writing.
Mm-hmm.
And I got to this point where I was just having anxiety about, like, oh, I'm doing my work at home. Why aren't I working right now? Because I'm watching a TV show. Or so I finally realized I needed to separate these two worlds.
You need a workplace.
I needed somewhere. I needed somewhere that I could go, and so, if you go to any Starbucks in Los Angeles, you're going to find 200 writers in there.
Yeah,
and they're all doing the same thing, because you just got to get out. You can't just sit there. It's such a creative process, the writing process, when you're actually doing the writing part, that you kind of need those distractions around you at the same time, because it keeps your brain moving and doesn't let you, you hear the term writer's block. And that's when you're just too focused and you can't get past one situation. Like the script that I'm kind of designing right now, I've been designing just the outline of what the basics of this story is for probably 3 months. The script I just finished took me 2.5 years to write.
Wow.
The one that I'm writing tonight, that's actually really cool. We just got the news yesterday that the production company wants it.
Oh,
sweet.
So it should come out next year.
Awesome.
Which it's going to be dark.
Okay.
I'm all for it, man.
Although I think it's going to be kind of low budge.
Dark, like dark comedy or
No.
dark? Is it
Low
just
budge.
like
Thriller.
Low
dark?
budge kind of
Okay.
forces you into like a good little creative box, man. I've seen some of like
Oh, yeah.
I've seen some of my favorite films lately have all been just like little indie things that I've
Well,
never
it is-
heard of before.
Absolutely. Honestly,
Oh, I
for
love
me, and not to discredit or take away from the hard work that goes into making all of this stuff on with big channels and sets and stuff like that, but like I really do like all of these indie films that are coming out. Those are the ones that seem the most,
Well, 65% of Oscar films are indies.
Yeah.
And 100% of Sundance films are indies.
Yeah.
It's an independent film festival.
Yeah.
But those are like the big ones, right?
Yeah.
But 65% of Oscar, it might be Oscar nominated films. Maybe not Oscar winners. I don't remember what the statistic was. But, I mean, Hollywood makes shit films. They do. That's
Yeah.
their job.
So what to clarify for even myself and people that might be listening, because sometimes you get big actors in indie films.
Oh,
What
absolutely.
makes it an indie film? Just the like
There are
is it the budget?
5 studios, right?
Uh-huh.
Warner Brothers, Disney. If you think of one of these big mega studios, right? That's a studio-made film.
Okay.
Anything they make is a studio-made film, and it's going to have hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars around it. An independent film is any film that's financed outside of the studio system.
Outside of those 5.
But you'll still find independent films, which I don't consider that actually independent anymore because, you'll find independent films that have, you got Tom Hanks in it, and it was $130 million, but it's
Matthew-
outside the studio
yeah.
system, so it's an indie.
Like Matthew McConaughey in that Gold, or
Yeah.
you got Gold. What was the other one?
Well, even like Hurt Locker. Hurt Locker's just, that's an independent film,
Okay.
right? But that's really, it's big. They got big explosions. They got gunfights. Like, you
So
feel
that's-
like that's a studio film.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I would have never. See, that's the thing. I never pay attention to the credits and stuff like that. Like most people, I feel like don't. Like
Well,
the
and it's
common
hard
person.
to tell now, too, because even if you make a great independent film, if it's that good and it goes to a festival and it gets into Sundance, which those are kind of artsy films, you don't typically, those are the films you don't go to see. You just hear about them. Like, oh,
Yeah.
did you hear about this one? It was so
Oh,
good.
those are the
It's
ones
like,
I
yeah,
wait to
totally
watch
saw that.
here.
The winner
Yeah.
of the last year's one was pretty good. The Ingrid Goes East or whatever, or West.
Ingrid Goes
Ingrid
West.
Goes
yeah.
West. Yeah, I like
That
that.
was-
But did you
fucking-
see the one before that?
No.
Did you see Tiny Furniture?
No, I have no
No.
idea.
Did you see the
No.
transgender
I just
one
like
shot
Aubrey
on
Plaza.
iPhones?
That's another thing because Aubrey Plaza's pretty big. Like
Yeah, oh,
she's-
yeah.
So
Oh, definitely.
so she's in an independent film. And,
And some of them, Birth of a Nation. Right?
Oh yeah.
Nate ended up being accused of sexual assault. But
Oh, I
that was
know
an
that.
independent film. Oh, yeah, the
Yeah.
film tanked because of it.
Oh.
But that was an independent film made by an
I
independent
love the
filmmaker.
I
concept
honestly
so much.
don't know what that is. The Birth of a Nation.
So Birth of a Nation was the title that comes from a D.W. Griffith film back from like the 30s or 40s.
Yeah.
Ended up being probably one of the most racist films ever made.
Yeah, it's
and they decided to
horrible.
reuse it for a new film.
But it was a great
No,
idea
no.
because it was the reverse.
Okay.
It was a strong film about black folks coming out of slavery and the strength of that society and that culture of them protecting themselves from white masters. And it had to do with a rape in it and all of that. And so they actually took the name and basically spun it around and gave it a middle finger.
Yeah, it was such a great
It was a really good film.
concept and execution.
But then somebody came out with.
So then I think Paramount bought the film while it was when it won Sundance, right? And now now it looks like it comes from, a studio system where it's like, oh yeah, it's from Paramount. But really it was an independent film. It was just bought to be distributed. So like Paranormal Activity. It's a $36,000 film shot in San Diego.
Yeah.
Bought by Warner Brothers. Made $160
Fucking
million.
films, by the way. I love those.
Yeah.
I fucking
Oh,
love those.
They're awesome.
Genius.
They're smart.
Yeah.
They're smart. And there's a million of those. So it's kind of even hard now. Like, even I watch them, I'm like, I don't know if this is independent or not. Like,
Yeah.
it's so hard to tell.
It is hard. There's that line, but I really do like the ones that are super minimal, like
Yes.
because then we talk about the kids and getting them to act,
Yes.
and like to get like kids like those because there's some fucking good actors, like
Well,
little
kids can get past themselves.
yeah.
We're like, we have self-awareness,
Right.
right? We're self-conscious. Like, people are looking at me. I can't
Yeah.
get to that place. You know what I mean? I'm supposed to cry, but I can't. Kids don't see that about themselves. They don't see it as a negative, like getting to that emotional level. They're more free.
Yeah.
So if you can find a kid that can act, he or she, they can really act
Well,
because
yeah.
no restrictions.
Well, I don't know too much.
Puberty hasn't screwed them up yet.
Yeah, exactly.
I definitely don't know anything about it, but I would imagine that, working on an independent set where it's like not as, they're not staying on a lot all day, having to wait around and do all of these things. I feel like working with just one director who might be more sincere or might be more kind to them or might be able to relate to them.
It's all the same.
It's all the same.
It's all this. The system is the system as far as, when you hear the term studio system, it has more to do with budgeting and finance and marketing and things like that. Whether a film is shot independently for $5 million or it's shot for 300, it's Black Panther and it's shot for 200 million or whatever that budget was.
I gotta see that still.
Physically on set, they operate the same, right? You got a director, ADs, actors, cinematographer, camera operators, and everybody works in the guy that shot, Black Panther, the camera operator, might have been the same guy that shot Viral for Netflix. Do you know what I mean? It's interchangeable because they're all union. So there's really no way to tell anymore. It's not like the old days where 70s, 80s, 90s, even to the early 2000s, you could tell you were watching an independent film because the quality wasn't there, right? It was still good. The story was there, but you could tell the camera wasn't as expensive.
Right.
Yeah.
Right?
But now you've got the technology.
It's so caught up.
You
Like,
can shoot a
revolution of
film
it.
on your iPhone.
Right. I talk about this all the time with people that come into work because, I sell vintage animation art. And so we go over what a cell used to be and how the process of making that, the animation back in the day was, so beautiful and different and unique compared to what it is. But it just did not make sense in any which way for them to be able to still employ all those hundreds of people to do something that this computer could do, and minimize that. And so that's but to the benefit of so many people that are trying to do things creatively outside of the restrictions and rules or the prejudices of people that in the major studios that say you can or can't do this. It's definitely good. And do you see some sort of what's it called, decline of more and more of major studios being relevant in any way? Do you think that it's going?
No, because they still make, you think they only make 1 or 2 films a year now, the big studios, right? And it's usually a big action film. So like Black Panther, right? That film's now grossed over $500 million in 2 weeks.
2 weeks. That's crazy.
What else do they need to do?
Right.
They're in the green.
Really?
Yeah.
Only 2 though?
It's been like 2
Yeah,
weeks.
it's been 2 weeks.
And they're
No,
five.
they only make like a couple movies?
They'll buy 16 films. They'll buy indies all day long.
Okay.
Right? They're looking for them constantly because they need to sell them worldwide. They need to keep their stuff in theaters at all times around the world. That's a business. For the studios, film is a business. There is nothing about it that is art. And to be a good filmmaker, you have to recognize that side too.
It's like a gallery too. It's about money.
Right.
Right.
Like you got these beautiful paintings on the wall or animation, these old flash or comic cells or glass sheets or, or mats, whatever it is you guys are selling.
Right.
And for the people coming in to look at it, it's like, God, that's, it's really stunning to see, that was hand done. Right. But the gallery owner is like, I got to push 3 of these to pay my rent. I got to sell 3 of these this month just to pay overhead, and another one to pay my overhead for my staff. And then I got a car payment, so I need to sell another. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's just business for them at some level, and they forget about that. And studios, these aren't filmmakers.
Yeah.
These are people coming out of Harvard with business degrees and law degrees.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're not writers. They're not directors. Maybe at some level they wanted to be.
So it's a very corporate structure.
Well, yeah. Then there's so much risk involved with the budgets nowadays too. That if you have
I wouldn't risk $1 million just to say, oh, let's make art.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make sure the story's there. I'm gonna
gone
make sure
those
we have a
days.
distribution deal.
Yeah.
And that's me as an artist. I'm gonna do that because I also want them to give me more money to make another film.
Yeah.
Right? I don't want to tank my film and then be like, hey, we're not giving him anymore. I want to kill it. Right? Well, if I get $1 million, I want to sell my film for 5. Now I'm 4 million in the green, and they're giving me 8 million on the next one because they think I'm going to bring in 24. Right? And you keep on going, then you become David Ayers, who bombed Suicide Squad.
Yep.
Not his fault though. Not his fault.
Yeah. All of those.
That's a studio.
Yeah, exactly. They
reek
reek of Warner Brothers just having their fingers all over each of those films, and they've been. I mean, I can tell now when there's way too many cooks in the kitchen, and especially with all of the DC ones, they're
and directors for the studio system don't get the final cut.
Oh, absolutely not. Yeah.
No. They don't get to say.
Has that always been the thing, or is that something that just kind of whenever
I
you
mean,
see director's cut from like Scorsese or any of those guys,
Scorsese didn't win his first Oscar until he got a director's cut, until he made his first director's cut. That was his first Oscar.
And but it was his final cut, right?
It was that was his cut.
Okay,
the actual film itself.
Yeah.
So he finally got in his deal after years and years and years.
And which film was this?
I don't remember anymore.
Goodfellas, maybe?
No. It's later than that.
Casino, probably.
Later than that.
Really? Oh, it had to be.
The Departed.
There we go.
Departed.
Yeah.
Right. That was the first time he had films that won Oscars, but never him.
Got it.
Right.
Okay.
And it was the first time that in his deal he got the director's cut, that they had to show what he made. And that film is brilliant.
That's crazy. Yeah. That's why I kind of wish there was more of those kind of floating around out there, so I could see what some of like the real
out there,
creative visions are of some of these people that, like, you know, I hate to shit on Zack Snyder, especially with, you know, everything that he's been going through lately, but like he made he made one good movie.
Do we know that he's actually going through that stuff though?
Do we know?
I
don't even know who the fuck you're talking about.
He made one good movie.
Who's this?
Just 300.
Oh, he directed 300. Okay.
Yeah, but then after that he made the second 300. He made Sucker Punch. He made Batman versus
300 is one of those things that like it's eye candy because you've never seen anything like it really, and then after that it just gets really lame. Like that style.
You only get one.
You only get one
unless you change the game.
Right.
Like that was so stylistic. You can't change the game.
Right. Exactly.
But if you look at like totally arbitrary Saw, the first Saw film. After that, every film had that desaturated look. Even non-thrillers and non-horror films, they now desaturated their look. They went to a wider post, and this was a $2 million movie, and it was shot by David Armstrong, who shot the first 7 of those.
God,
yeah, exactly.
I didn't need an update on how many there have been.
He changed horror. He changed film and didn't even realize it. He was one of my teachers.
You got guys like Rob Zombie, right?
Yeah, he's not changing anything.
He's not.
I don't think so. No. I mean, he's still doing his own thing, but
it's so weird. That's his niche.
But see, it wasn't. You're right. It's not scary. It's weird.
No, yeah, it's weird. He uses that same guy that guy's scary.
Yeah.
Like, can you imagine meeting him walking out of fucking 7-Eleven at like 11 o'clock?
I love like 31. But they're super weird and out there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, I guess to me, because it's hard for me to get scared, really, like on things other than paranormal activity.
So easy to get scared.
Paranormal activity is scary as fuck because once you start going into demonic shit with ghosts and stuff like that, and you can't see, like, that's when I'm starting like, oh fuck, like
I start to
Saw
wonder
doesn't scare me because it's like that's gore.
Is it scary though? Is it just jump scares?
No, a lot of those are cheap jump scares. I don't consider that like real horror.
So anything that's to do with religion, you're tuned in.
Not even, and it's not any particular religion. It's just the idea that
spirituality.
And because I mean, I could sit here and tell you personal accounts of things that I've experienced myself that I get goosebumps from when I fucking see stuff like that. So it's definitely.
Did you see it or did you see?
Well, hey, did we see anything? Is Frankie's ass really in the air right now, walking around? Who knows?
Somewhere she's rubbing on
somewhere.
Oh no, she was screaming in my face this entire show. So I finally had to take her down and put her in the other room.
Got it. Yeah, no, I heard that too.
She was looking for it.
I think everybody listening heard that for sure.
Oh yeah, no, it was coming through loud and clear. So I was like, God damn it, Kat. So I was like, okay, she's in the side room now, so she's fine.
I just figured everybody thought it was me.
So are there any directors that you really like look up to for kind of doing like
Fincher.
Who?
Fincher.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Dude, he's
Fight Club.
Yeah, Fight Club.
Zodiac.
Yep.
The Game.
Yep.
I mean, just everything he does.
Even
if
the
it's
Social Network.
Story.
The Social Network kind of
like
whatever, but you're still
brilliant.
Intrigued.
Yeah. Great, yeah.
It's awesome.
Like I don't even like
too.
Zodiac. I thought it was a shitty film, and Jake Gyllenhaal with this stupid hand thing in the animal crackers.
I love it.
Like, what are you doing? But he made it good.
Yeah.
I'm afraid to meet him. I'm like really afraid to meet him because it would crush me if he ended up being a douchebag.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, crush me. Mm-hmm. Because they literally, when I'm directing something, I literally, if I'm stuck on something, I go, how would Fincher shoot this?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, how would he have accomplished that? So I go to him all the time. Michael Mann.
Oh, okay.
Joel Schumacher.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah, Time to Kill. Like, so brilliantly done, and I love those thrillers, and especially when they're deep, southern, sweaty, dark.
Didn't he
Yeah.
also do
Batman?
Yeah, the ones that always get the worst rap. But I was young and I liked them.
They were great for their time.
I thought Jim Carrey did a fucking great job as the Riddler. Are you kidding me? Come on.
Oh
Killed it as
man.
the Riddler. It was so wacky and weird, but it was like that's what like as a kid.
Well, it was
didn't
like-
seem
it was-
so far off. I was like,
Technically, Burton's Batman, right? Because he was just
Technically.
spinning off of
Yeah.
what Burton had already done, and kind of made him similar. It didn't change again until Nolan did.
yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, George Clooney was a terrible idea, of course.
He
That was
actually
the-
admits to it. He says,
Yeah.
"I was
Oh, yeah.
the worst Batman ever."
Yeah.
I think Michael Keaton actually might have been a little worse.
See, and that's the most unpopular opinion toward that, but I don't necessarily
I
disagree.
respect that you had the balls to say
Yeah,
that.
I don't think
I
that
don't
Michael
think he's
Keaton is what I would think of when I like what
But Danny
Kevin-
DeVito as the Penguin,
Yeah,
dope.
yeah, I thought-
Terrible, but dope.
Yeah,
I like that. I feel like there's been a little bit of a resurge in like just that fun out there-ness. Like I feel like we lost a bunch of that like after the 90s and stuff like that. And
Right.
I feel like
Oh,
I feel like it's making a little bit of a
Well,
comeback.
so you got to remember that the current filmmakers in the industry right now, so the directors coming up, came up with me, right? They didn't go into the service. They made films. And so they were 90s kids. And so that's,
Yeah.
you're getting a flare of that back into it. We grew up on those Batman films. We grew up on 10 Things I Hate About You, She's All That.
Yeah.
Can't Hardly Wait, and Scream, and
can't hardly wait.
Oh,
dude.
yeah.
I
Oh, yeah.
Since I was
J-Love.
a kid, watched that dude is like, oh yo, I got to get laid tonight. he's just like, he's like, oh
on-
yeah,
put
I
on
was
your
just-
goggles.
I was just sitting over there with them hoes trying to fight over who gets to knock the boots. He's like, I don't see no hoes, Kenny. Well, you gotta waste my flavor. Damn. Dude, I could. That's like one of the most quotable movies for me and my buddies. Like I remember watching that
Oh
with my
my
parents
God.
when I was like a really little kid, and I thought that's hilarious, dude. I
thought it was real.
When Jamie Kennedy came out with Malibu's Most Wanted, I was like, no, you guys don't know.
You guys don't get
the
it.
white guy that wants to be the black guy, like Seth
Yeah.
Rogen. I mean Seth, not Rogen. Seth
Green.
Green. Sorry, there's too many Seths in show business nowadays. Seth Green,
a lot.
Seth Rogen. There's like 3. That's way too many.
Oh man.
Seth Rogen.
Have you met him?
You know, I think I
That's
met
the
him
guy.
like on Ventura Boulevard,
Okay.
like just like out and about in the valley somewhere.
What do you think about those movies? I love those.
I call those the Jew comedies,
the what?
I
The
like
Jew
that. I like that.
the
yeah.
Jew comedies.
and they're brilliant. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? I mean, Billy Crystal did it back
Yeah.
in his day.
one-liner brilliance.
They're just so smart, right?
Yeah.
And those guys, I think they've even called themselves like the Jewish Connection at some point. And they just made those. I mean, Pineapple Express, and
This is
They're
the
still
end. Is the
making
greatest.
great
this is the
Yeah,
end.
That's like so.
Except the ending.
It's stupid as fuck for sure. It's dumb as fuck.
Why are these pages sticking?
But just the
I'll
idea.
come anywhere I want. You don't have enough bullets, bitch.
That's hilarious. Like, I'll come wherever the fuck I want to. Danny McBride is fucking goat in my
Fucking
opinion. The greatest. I think Eastbound and Down is probably the greatest comedic thing to ever be on television, in my opinion.
pretty funny.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's fucking great. Because it's so real too. It's not just like if you really watch it for what it is, you're like, this is a guy with a massive ego problem. Like, you know, it's this guy's going through some shit,
Dave
and
May
you can
loves
kind
that
of
one.
relate to a little bit.
Just constantly bringing it up.
Yeah. Oh, dude, that's how the reason why Dave and I are friends pretty much is because we have the same silly, stupid taste in comedy like that. You know, we love the fucking dumb shit.
He loves that shit.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he'll text me that. The thing is with him, none of his insults are ever his own, and then he like uses like insults.
Do you ever get
or
the dirty
jokes
text?
Huh?
The dirty text where you have to follow the posting?
No.
Like he'll send you a link and you click on the link from your text and it takes you like a picture or something.
Oh, like a guy with his dick hanging out?
Yeah, that pretty much that.
I mean, I've done that to people too before because it's gotten done to me. I think that was just kind of something that goes around.
Yeah, that didn't go around in my world.
You're like, what
So I kind of blame you for that now.
no.
I know that's where it started.
I don't know
now.
which one it was. Maybe he did, but I did get him.
You did by your answer. I know you know which one it was.
Oh yeah, okay. Well, you know, to be fair, that was also kind of probably like a charity cause because like they're trying to make that guy feel better because there's no way he's fucking anybody with that dick that big, dude. That guy, like,
Kind of ridiculous.
that guy's like, yeah. Anyways, it's like one of these things. Make sure you're safe. Check
Make
out
sure you subscribe to the show on social media, where we'll be posting the dick as soon as the show's over.
It's just this dude, but
Don't look.
But more importantly than the
burn your
massive behemoth fucking mammoth trunk that is coming from the middle of his legs.
I
is
really
the-
thought it was photoshopped.
No,
I was like, but it's real.
I don't know.
It's real.
Yeah, but
I looked
not-
real close.
Not even that. The look on this dude's face is the most hilarious fucking thing. He's just like looking like, you know, like he's like.
I thought it was Bob Sapp.
I don't know who that is.
He was like a pro fighter for like the longest time, like the UFC and Pride. And
Oh,
shit.
that's where I know the name from.
Like
Okay,
just
yeah.
he's just this huge guy, and he looks just like him. And I was like, this is the worst day of my life.
Yeah, he just seems so miserable. He's like, man, my dick is just too big. Like, you know, people have the complete opposite problem in this world. They're like, oh man, they're just sitting at home, just like worrying about that
It's
shit.
over.
This guy's like, I can't even.
I can't even rub one out.
Yeah, dude, straight up, dude. He's like working. It's like lifting
Two hands and a
100
system.
100-pound fucking dumbbells.
Like, what do you do with this thing?
Yeah, exactly.
Put it in a dishwasher.
Oh, well, I'm glad to know that he extended that.
Oh yeah,
and
no,
got
it's
you
fun
guys
to me.
with
I've
that.
gotten a few of them. I've gotten a few of those from him. Maybe you guys should change the name of the show to 6 Degrees of David May.
That's
Yeah,
yeah. That's
And
basically it.
Just troll him.
He would
daily.
love but he would love it though.
This
He,
shit is
like,
great
see,
'cause
he would
we're-
pretend like he's upset, but he would secretly
do you know
love
how
it.
to-
We're
Dope
constantly
I am.
referencing a person that nobody knows.
Yeah, no, he's been on the show before.
I mean, he's been on the show before. But I'm saying like it's
You guys
just
don't
We
get
should.
how
We
dope
were
I am.
It's
way
funny to
too
me.
easy on him too when he was on the show. We didn't roast him.
we need to bring him back
We need
like
to
for
bring
some
him back
shows
on.
like
I
I
gotcha
called him tonight. I
journalism.
said you need to come and when you're done with tacos with your dad.
and check it out. Yeah.
He didn't hit me up.
He doesn't really like
course
getting
not.
too far outside of
know.
anywhere or doing anything.
Hey, I'm sorry, I have to leave Newport Beach.
Exactly.
No.
It was always like, hey, yeah, come on over. And
Unless it's a festival.
So the only time I talked to him was when we were playing fucking Xbox together.
yeah, but then we get to the festival, and then he wants to stay at camp most of the time. And then he'll go out when everybody comes back from the camp.
Oh, did I tell you about my festival with him? I went.
Please tell us.
Oh, let me tell you. My very first festival. I'm in my mid 30s, all right, late 30s. Fuck off. And so I go to
Northern Nights.
Northern Nights with him,
Hell of a festival to go for your first one.
and I get some chafing, right? Because we're going in the water all day, and then we're in the sun all day, and then so by like night two, I've got some like severe chafing. I can't fucking walk. And I'm sitting on a blow up fucking unicorn at our campsite that some girl left behind. My legs are spread open wide. And I'm like, Dave, could you run over to the shop and see if they got any, powder or something? He's like, no, bro, I'm good right here. I'm like, come on, don't be a dick. And he's like, I'm good, man, I'm good. And then Detmer,
Yeah.
Detmer's like, I'll go. And Dave's like, all right, fuck it, I'll go.
That is so fucking Dave.
And I'm like, I looked at him and I was like, you're a
Sorry.
son of a bitch. I fucking hate you right now. And then luckily our neighbor was a nurse and she had some like hydrocortisone cream and I was like, oh, it like came out like, and there was like doves. And I was like, oh, my balls are going to feel so much cooler.
That's the good thing about the festival community. There's always going to be somebody around you that's got you hooked up, and they
Yeah.
don't judge you. They don't
Yeah.
fucking judge
Oh,
you.
no.
They know. They get it.
She handed me the tube. Her name's Renee, and we're actually all still friends with her.
Oh, sick.
And her name's Renee, and she hands me the tube, and she's like, you can keep that, because she knew where it was full.
Right.
And I was like, no, I don't need to keep it. I can just put it on my hand and then give it back to you before I do my thing with it. And she's like, oh, okay, that's fine.
Oh, well,
She did not want it back, man. Her eyes were like,
yeah.
Yeah, you can keep that disease thing.
It's kind of like anything. People like one of the common things that people use at those things because of all the dust that goes around
Yeah.
at these things is those Vicks vapor breathable things, and it's like the
Yeah, I think that's because of the ecstasy.
oh
Yeah, that's like a rave.
That's
thing.
the
I
roll.
think it's a
Bunch of
combination of all the drugs that you do, and I was trying to not necessarily go there with that, but it's also
Oh.
the dust. The dust. You want to breathe a little bit
I
better.
was in my 20s.
Yeah. No. It's, yeah. I mean, we've talked. I've done my fair share of talking about all that stuff. I
Yeah.
don't think people really care.
Yeah,
So,
no.
but it does. open up. It makes you feel better. But when you share that stuff with people, it's like, wait, some people are like, some people actually share it. Like, here you go.
Yeah,
Some
shove
people
that
are
in
like,
your face.
Yeah.
It was just in my dirty nose.
Yeah. Like, what?
I'm like, I'm good, bro. Like, that's... Use condom?
Well, at a certain point, if you're going to these festivals and you're really trying to enjoy yourself, you have to kind of stop giving a fuck about...
I realized that self-appreciation isn't really a thing. Like, you just let go. Like, I stink like shit. And so does
Oh, the
everybody
whole thing's
else.
about letting go of your ego and not giving a fuck about how
Yeah.
you smell, how you look, or anything like that.
I
and
enjoyed
nobody's
myself,
judging you. It's
but
a beautiful
I'm
thing.
far too old. I'm far too old for that now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? My body is getting physically soft.
Now, see, I would argue like let's redefine what old is, man. Keep coming out with us. Why not?
Old is a feeling. It's not an age anymore. It is a feeling. Right?
Oh, okay. Okay.
So like if I went to festivals every week, I would actually be younger again, right? Because I would get used to it.
That's what I'm saying. It's a state of mind.
But at that point, though, by morning day 3, I was just like, fuck my life. Like, I need to go
Get out there
and
early,
get in a
beat the traffic.
shower. We still have a 12-hour drive. Get in
Oh,
the fucking car,
God.
Dave. I was giving away, like, rafts and shit because I didn't want to pack it up. I was like, here, man, have that and have that.
Well, at least you're giving it away to people. Like,
Oh,
Dave
yeah.
would go with a knife and just pop it
He
and
would.
throw it away. And it's like, bro, because I'm a broke
And
dude.
then kick a kid.
I
while
want to
he was
reuse
at
this
it.
shit,
Yeah.
Like, let's just, like, deflate it for 10 seconds, And he's just like...
I was not into it.
Yeah.
I was too tired.
But
I
you're
was
giving
like-
it away.
I looked over to the people next to us and said, hey, you want that brand new 12-person raft I just bought?
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah. I'm like, it's yours.
That's good, though. You're giving back.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
amazing.
yeah.
Instead of just, no, nobody could use it. What the fuck is that shit?
I could say, Dave, you're a dick.
Dave,
I'll never forget my
episode
shaped
title?
balls.
Fuck Dave. Dave, you're a dick.
May, you're a
Dave,
dick.
you're a dick.
Not to
There's
be
a sound
mistaken
bite.
with Dave and Maya, but Dave May.
There's a lot of Daves.
There
in
are
your
a
guys'
lot of
group.
Daves.
In your guys' group, there's a-
Daves and Mackenzies.
I don't know any of the Mackenzies.
Well, there's only 2, but that's it's not as.
There's a
That's
hot girl
too
Mackenzie.
many.
Yeah.
I remember her.
Well,
There's like a hot girl named Mackenzie.
well, yeah.
Oh, no. Never mind. That's Genevieve.
Oh, I was gonna say because that's I was like the other 2. They're married. It's like
They don't count.
Yeah, no, but
They're
okay,
married. They're dead.
So Genevieve's listening. We all know Nic Lewis. Yeah,
I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
I don't come down here enough to be afraid.
No, she's totally cool as fuck. She's one of my good friends. But anyways, as we're gonna be wrapping up now, after you take your really
Get that
nice,
dew, get that
fine
last little
sip of the
jolt
dew in
for the
there,
final lap here.
so that before you go home and write the rest of your whatever screenplay you're
next-
working on right now.
next
'cause-
great
Well,
movie.
is there anything that you can talk about that you're working on right now that you're like excited?
I just finished writing a TV. No, I can't talk about that.
I know it's a
Yeah, it's a
difficult
secret
thing until
little
it gets
world.
picked up, like until it's ready to go. I know you can't talk about stuff.
Yeah, everything is so strict.
Anything you're most proud of
Yeah,
for people to go.
because I went ahead and I did a refresher on Runner because I watched it about a year ago when
My
we
short
met.
film.
Yeah, and that was it's only 15 minutes, so it's pretty easy to get through. You told me it was on Vimeo, so I
Pretty
found it
graphic.
again over there. Yeah, it was just looking through it again. I took some notes. I'm like, yeah, this is like more brutal than I remember. It was very. I love
Very
how.
violent.
Yeah, I love all of the violent scenes were very up close, very shaky, very intense. It felt like the
I
Revenant
didn't want
a
to
little
hide
bit.
it.
Yeah,
and,
no,
and
it
I
was-
didn't want to do CGI. It's all like real.
Yeah, oh yeah, I could tell, and I wanted to while you were here, fucking high five you for the scene where the dude gets his fingers blown
his
off
fingers
there.
off, yeah.
That took me so by surprise. I was just like, Jesus, I remember that one.
Good.
Yeah, that was good.
That
man.
was. Trust me, that was like 4 hours of work to get that because
Oh.
they're pneumatic. They're actually on there,
Oh yeah.
and we had to blow them off every time, and then reset the blood, reset the fingers, blow them off again.
That's awesome, man. Well, do you have any like cool stories from that set?
Oh man, that was a long time ago. It was.
I'm sure this is.
We
a
shot
couple
it in
years
a
ago.
bear habitat.
Okay.
There was wild bears everywhere,
Shit.
and I didn't see any. Everybody else saw bears. I didn't see one.
Where was this?
It's in Monrovia.
Oh, they said they saw bears in Monrovia.
No, there is. There's a bear habitat called.
Oh, a habitat. Okay.
Yeah, it's the Monrovia Canyon Falls, and it's a fenced-in park, state park, and they have California brown bears and stuff in there. And you can go hiking through it any time of day. We had to rent it out.
Wait, California, like, you mean black bears?
Black bears, okay.
'Cause, yeah.
That one.
I'm a connoisseur guy.
I'm a connoisseur of beardium.
bears.
He knows the thing about black bears.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about bears, and I really didn't get to see any, and I was really upset by it. But everybody else did. And I just remember it raining the whole damn time. And then we've been in a drought for like 5 years. And all of a sudden it's raining.
So I wasn't sure if that was a part of the narrative or is that was just an incidental thing there.
It was awesome because rain looks great on camera.
Oh yeah, no, it did.
It gives it a tone that you can't pay for. You know what I mean? So it was great. But we're literally, day 2, me and the cinematographer are literally, if you watch the film, there's a waterfall. And in the film, it doesn't look that big, but up close, there's a lot of water coming over that damn wall. Mm-hmm. And we're standing in the waterfall with the camera, and we're just getting pounded by water. And I'm trying to hold water off the camera. The 2 actors are standing next to the river. One guy, we have another guy pouring blood in the water, so it's going down the stream. The whole river, this creek, turns red because we put too much. And so now we're stuck waiting for the water to kind of rinse some of it out, and we're just literally in this freezing water soaked for the next 12 hours under this waterfall. It was
It kind of
awesome.
sells the misery, you know. I think that really kind of
You gotta earn your
came
stripes.
through. Yeah, exactly.
and everybody on that crew earned their stripes on that one. I mean, it was miserably cold and wet.
Okay, so I think my Revenant comparison might be a little bit
A little accurate.
yeah, a little bit
They
accurate.
came
you know,
out at
'cause
the
I know
same
Inarritu
time.
I
I was like, son of a bitch, really? Like, my film means
I was thinking
nothing
about. I was
now.
like, no wait, the timeline like that. This had to have been done like just before. So I was thinking about.
We
that as I
shot
was
it
watching
at the same time that they were editing, but we didn't know that it was coming out.
Yeah.
We hadn't heard anything about Revenant yet.
Yeah.
And I'm shooting a Civil War piece in the mountains. And they're editing a film from generally the same era, a little before. And then their movie comes out at the same time mine's going to film festivals. And I'm just like, you son of a bitch. Like, kiss my ass.
Yeah.
Which that shouldn't have won an Oscar, by the way. Leo did not.
Yeah,
win an
that
Oscar.
was,
I was
that
just
was a
gonna
petty
ask
Oscar.
you what
I
she-
It was a
didn't
petty
think
Oscar.
I didn't think it was that
Yeah,
great.
you know, there's
but
so many other things.
He
that
should have gotten it for other ones beforehand, I think. But
Oh, yeah. What's Eating Gilbert Grape? Oscar
Oh, yeah.
nomination.
Absolutely.
Basketball Diaries? Oscar. I mean, he's by far one of our greatest actors when he wants to be.
yeah.
But that
and
one
I think
was not it.
Inarritu's he's a great director too. But
Who? Inarritu?
yeah, Inarritu.
Yeah.
But like that one I just didn't really
It
like.
wasn't it?
I expect so much more from him, so I don't want to say it was like because it was still a
was
good
great.
movie.
Yeah.
It was a great movie,
But it wasn't
like,
his best acting.
Oh yeah,
You know what I mean? There really wasn't that much acting. I mean, he gets attacked by a bear and he grunts for an hour before he starts talking again.
yeah.
It's just grunting.
and it just kind of dragged on, and a lot of it just felt very like
And I never
Like
quite got the
pretending to
story
be-
about the Indians.
yeah.
Like, there's this whole
What's
sea
the
story running
flashbacks
in the
and sounds
background.
of- and I had no idea what that was for.
They only
And I
showed
was
up twice.
waiting for some payoff, and then
Yeah.
nothing. Yeah,
Nothing.
That's
They
all
just show up and kill the guy in the end. They kill, what's his face?
Yeah, Tom Hardy.
Who
Tom Hardy.
Who
Yeah.
made the movie?
Inarritu.
No, I know, but who I'm saying that Tom Hardy is the one that, like, in my opinion, he
Oh,
stole
he
the
was
show.
strong in
Oh,
that.
He
yes,
stole the
yes.
show.
He was
That's-
strong in
the
that.
se- I mean, say what you will about the
I think
movie.
the dead bear.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that stole the whole damn movie.
No, I mean honestly though,
Or the horse.
like the
The
scene
horse?
where he's up in the
Yeah,
fucking, he's in the tent or the whatever it is, the fucking, he's in the shelter with the fire going and he's talking to the little redhead guy and he's like telling him about the fucking squirrel thing
Yeah.
and his eyes, his pupils just like looked like it's like, I don't know if they CGI'd that shit or if that was
he's
just
able.
fucking
He's able to sell.
Well,
like,
he's a
Mania, that's-
huge method actor.
yeah.
Like, massive method actor, but I know I think he's also in sobriety. Because he was
Okay.
hooked on heroin for like a long time.
Really?
Not privately. People know about this, so I'm
Okay.
not busting him.
No. I mean, I didn't
No, he
know
went
that.
to rehab multiple times, and he's struggled with that a few times in his life, I think. And then he had kids, and that's when his career kind of took off. So
For me, it was like a backwards thing with him because I'd seen him. I think the first thing I'd ever seen him in was Inception, which was still more talkative and eccentric than like all the like later ones where he just has this stoic like look
he's
to
the
him.
brooding
He's
bad
got that
guy.
just like the quiet. This says like three things, but he could play any fucking badass. And then I went and saw him as Gorgeous Bob in fucking Rock and Rolla, and I
Oh,
was like,
yeah.
holy shit. Fucking like he was a skinny, scrawny.
I think
like,
he showed up to me in Warrior.
Okay,
That was the first time I was like, "Who is this guy?"
I didn't like him. I didn't like. I didn't like the movie. I didn't like the movie. I didn't like the whole like.
I got a kick out of it.
I just didn't like that. That just just that guy that just was an invincible fucking fighter that
I mean, it's a little far fetched, but from everything that came out that year, I thought that was like literally the best film.
And then you got Nick Nolte just like mumbling around.
Yeah.
And you're just like,
I got this fish. I got this fish.
oh, you're my son. And it's just,
He won an Oscar for that, by the way.
I mean, I'm not surprised.
Won the Oscar.
Jesus.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Tom Hardy won it.
no,
Or
Nick Nolte
No, Nick
did?
Nolte did.
Okay.
won Best
Yeah.
Supporting Actor for that.
Interesting.
So that was dope.
Yeah.
As-
I'd have
as
to
Dave
say
May would say,
Lawless.
dope.
Lawless has got to be one of
Yes.
my number ones. See, is that
I'm
an
sorry.
independent film?
Is that the one where he's the twin? Which
no,
one was that?
That's the one where he's a brother. You're thinking of the
cannot.
He's the twin with himself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the
I didn't like the movie so much, but I did like his performance.
Yeah, that movie's whatever. But
I think I
Lawless
watched
is
parts
the one.
of it.
Lawless is the one about the,
The
whiskey
moonshiner.
to Prohibition days where they.
Okay.
where
Yeah,
they
I
were
have not
moonshining.
seen that one, but I know it. I know.
Oh
it.
man, it's a great film.
He kind of came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Like if you really think about it,
Yeah, all of
Yeah.
a sudden he was just
all of a
there.
sudden he's a movie
Yeah.
star.
Like
and
Inception
he
was the
earned
first
it.
thing I saw him in, and he was like this. Like, who is this?
I don't
guy?
even think I remembered him in Inception until after I saw Warrior.
Okay.
Yeah, that was the same thing for me too. I know I
Yeah.
saw Inception, and then like it's this weird thing where it's like, oh yeah, Tom Hardy. Then you're just like, wait,
For me, it was
How do I
Bronson.
know his name?
Bronson was the one.
That was
Bronson.
so fucking weird.
That was
That
a
one-
fucking.
I could not get into it.
It was weird, but he did a fucking good job, man. He did a really good job.
I just don't know. I know. It was
No?
just too weird for me.
Too weird.
It was just a little too far out there.
I got you.
But the other actor that I love that kind of came out of nowhere was Jeremy Renner.
Oh yeah, he's fantastic.
Because he
Hawkeye,
got
the
famous
newborn,
because of the Hurt Locker,
Hurt Locker, yeah,
but he was also like the tough guy in the town.
yeah.
Years before that.
See, I don't care for that guy. That
Oh.
much. I don't see. We're on opposite ends of the
Really,
plane
that,
right
that,
there.
He's
yeah.
so
that
badass.
town scene that like I
Yeah.
don't care what you did.
I never
like,
saw
let's-
the town,
let's
though.
go. Whatever,
Yeah.
whatever
I never
that was.
saw
That
the
gave
town.
me
He's brilliant.
chills, man. I love that.
That's one of my favorite
He's
films.
the guy that's in American Hustle, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. You know, it's not that I don't like him. It's just that like
He just doesn't hit for you.
I think he reminds me too much of a boss that I had. Like I think that's what it is. He looks so much like this dude.
I have a
That I'm-
cocksucker
this-
boss.
No,
You're him.
No, and he wasn't even a cocksucker boss. It's just like it's like you can't look at somebody take him seriously
Yeah, yeah,
anymore
yeah.
because he looked like this guy named Robin. This guy, I actually get along with Robin. Like, he's a funny guy. But when I'm watching him, like it's like that's Robin.
That's Robin.
Like, it's not an actor.
I've seen you in the bathroom. I can't take you serious.
Totally. But
Fucking A.
Tom Hardy. Okay, so real quick, one more. Who out of all the other actors though? Because I think Jake Gyllenhaal or like other people that are just like that just are so dynamic like that. Who's somebody else that you really look forward to watching whenever you see them in different movies?
Sadly, somebody I will probably never see again. Kevin Spacey.
Oh man, that yeah,
Probably one of the most brilliant actors of our lifetime.
it's a
and
hard one to rectify, but
He
yeah.
can't get around what he did.
No, you
But
can't.
he's definitely one of those guys. Like I see Kevin Spacey in a film, I'm like, fuck, I'm gonna watch it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He sells a film. Like,
Got it.
He's just
Baby
brilliant.
Driver was incredible.
I mean, go back to American Beauty.
Yeah, everything he's
You know
done.
what I mean? Like just such a brilliant actor. Too bad he's not that good of a man.
Yeah, too bad he's an awful human being.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But-
It's
That was probably one. I think years ago I probably would have said Johnny Depp, but Johnny Depp is for shit.
Oh God.
Yeah.
That guy is a
He
clown.
went down the fucking
Yeah.
the
in
shithole.
every way.
And all
You know?
yeah. Once he started doing that, what was that band that he's in?
Who cares?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Exactly.
mean, that might be the name. 'Cause,
Yeah.
like, who fucking cares?
Exactly.
He's such a douchebag. Like
Dave would be here, like, oh, I like Johnny Depp.
he does. No, he does.
I'm
He
sure
does,
he
but
does.
only because of Hunter S. Thompson.
Yeah. Oh, right.
Because he did
right,
Fear
right.
and Loathing, and
Yeah.
so
Which was fucking spectacular.
that was great. No,
That
he was
spectacular.
amazing
Up
before
until-
Pirates.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got it.
After Pirates, he became the guy with mascara and bracelets, and that was everything he did. Even
Yeah.
when he was Tonto, he was really just the pirate.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's been every character he's done since.
And I was totally okay with that. Still had a lot of love for Johnny Depp for his, his
Yeah.
whole body of work. And then it's like, oh, but he's a piece of shit who like beats his wife and stuff like that. So I'm
Oh,
like,
there is that too.
Yeah,
There is
I'm
that
not.
too. I forgot about that.
I'm-
Damn, I don't know anything about.
Oh
any
yeah,
of this
I'm not
shit.
on board with.
He
Johnny
was
Depp
beating up
anymore.
he got married to, God, she's beautiful too. What is her name?
It's slipping my mind right now.
I know she hangs out with Margot Robbie and the love of my life, who's another. I'm obsessed with her. But they're all best friends, and they all hang out together. But he married her, and then started beating the shit out of her. She tapes it.
Yeah.
Leaks the tapes. But she did get $13 million in the divorce. And here's how I know that she's a badass. She donated all $13 million to battered wife shelters.
Woo! Fuck.
She did not want the money.
That's awesome.
So that chick is a badass.
Oh shit. Okay, so let's.
I think chick's a bad word, but fuck.
Google it.
Whatever,
No.
bro. She's a badass chick.
I want to Google that real quick just to like.
What is her name?
Make sure, because I know I'm gonna see it and be like, oh fucking duh, because I know I was doing that for a long time. My favorite things when that was happening was that, like, right as that leaked, there was a campaign. I was in Paris, and there was a campaign that he was doing
Paris?
for. Oh, Mister, you name dropped nonstop. Oh,
You guys ask me questions.
he's like,
I have to.
and he was doing like some kind of ad campaign of just like Savage, and I was
Well, he
like,
lives
yeah,
there.
savagely beating your fucking wife, dude.
Yeah, I think he lives there.
Was
I think
it
he lives in
Savage or
Paris.
Nasage?
What?
I don't know.
Am I
was-
missing the joke?
It was Parage.
Because Nasage
Amber Heard.
was
Amber Heard.
There we go.
Oh,
God, I had Amber. I just could not get her last name.
she's,
Amber Heard.
She's beautiful, and she's obviously like a real class act, which is dope. You know what I mean? Totally cool.
So
Yeah.
speaking of name dropping, actually, I had one more thing that I know we're going way over time, but I wanted to shoehorn one more thing in because I know you worked on Last Comic Standing. And,
You've been looking in on me.
oh yeah, of course. I scoped out your IMDb and I went, oh shit, that is dope. Do you have
Yeah.
any like cool stories about that? Because I had some questions here for you. You said you were a talent wrangler, and
Talent
producer
coordinator,
and
yeah.
coordinator, yeah.
My job is to basically keep the comics coming and going, man.
Oh, okay.
Producing those guys, making sure they know what they're about to do when they get kicked off the show. Like, if you actually watch the episodes, you see me pretty much every episode.
Oh yeah.
I'm
shit.
the guy that walks in the room, like when they're all in that big waiting room.
Okay.
I'm the guy that'll walk in, open the door, and say, "Hey, so and so, you're up," and then take them onto the stage.
Oh no way, man! It's been a long time since I've watched that, but I'll have to go back and look.
I've never seen it.
Yeah.
People will send me like a clip that I'm in, and that's the only thing I've seen.
Yeah, no.
I've
Yeah,
actually
no.
I've never seen the Will Ferrell movie either.
what?
Never seen it. Don't know anything about it.
Wow.
I feel that's like.
I know all
Yeah,
about it. I read the
standard,
script
yeah.
every day.
Yeah,
I
you
shot
were
it
there. You
every
lived
day.
it, you know,
Yeah.
you don't.
Yeah, no, I understand that.
So
I
it's
mean,
like, what am I watching this
I
for?
definitely don't
for us
listen to
to-
every single podcast.
Yeah,
that's
for us
sure.
to compare, that's like, do we go back and listen to our? Oh, I
No.
do because I edit them, but
Yeah,
do you
he
like?
does.
Yeah.
No, I don't
Yeah.
but for me, it's kind of also a thing of like, oh, I'd rather just like let time like go through that to where, because like I feel like if you give it enough time, you're gonna be less critical of it because it's already passed, and you're like, okay, that was cool, like no matter what. But I feel like I have to listen to it right away after. I'm just like, ooh, I wish I didn't say that. Oh,
Well,
I
I would
did
say
this.
story of my
me
life.
and you are on our like fourth script right now.
Yeah,
You know,
See, I
And we need to
typically
get
have
that six
somebody.
until we're comfortable with this.
sure.
I
Yeah,
typically
we're
have
still-
a Nick whisper. I really do.
Yeah.
Typically, Carla my best friend, who's also the producer for all my films. She would be here and she would tell me what I can and can't say. But she's in Dubai shooting a new TV show.
Wow.
So I
Oh,
told
man.
her, she's like,
And if Carla were here, she'd be like, "You can't tell them I'm in Dubai shooting a new TV show."
no, I
What the fuck
can't.
are
I
you
just
doing?
can't tell you what the show is.
Okay.
It's about stuff. I actually don't even know.
Ooh, it's about stuff.
It's about stuff.
Oh, color me intrigued.
Stuff. And it's about girl stuff. I know that.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Any
That's
advice
reality.
that you would have for anybody that's going to be, coming out and trying to do something like this, like moving into, as we talked about, the industry sort of getting more indie, and so any sort of advice that you would give to anybody?
I think the biggest thing that anybody who wants to be creative with their life, in whatever fashion that is, music, poetry, screenwriting, novels, comic books, directing. I mean, anything that's creative, painting. Let go of your thin skin. It doesn't mean that you can't have it. You just can't let it affect what you do.
Or grow thicker skin? Maybe?
No, because our sensitivity is what makes us special.
Okay.
As creators, right? If I wasn't as sensitive, I wouldn't be able to write somebody sensitive. I wouldn't
Okay.
get it, right? And I can certainly be thick-skinned at times, which helps me in that situation. But no, I don't mind that I can be sensitive. It's
You're just speaking to like a tenacity to like, when that does
just be
happen,
okay with
don't,
it.
Yeah.
You don't have to kill yourself. Like you said, you beat yourself up over things.
Right.
You got to let that go, man.
Yeah.
Because it can't get you anywhere. You don't have to stop.
Uh-huh.
But you have to be able to get past it too, and just be like, all right, fuck it. This is what it is, right?
Yeah.
I can't do everything in every script I write. Otherwise, I'd only write one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If I did it all at once, what else do I have to show? So be okay with failure, and do it There's nothing you can do once and be good. There's nothing in your life you will ever do one time and be a professional where people are like, oh, you're the most amazing thing ever. You know what I mean? It just can't happen. You have to do it 6 to 10 hours a day and find a way to love it. And that's the only way you'll ever be, one, successful, but two, happy. You know what I mean? 10,000 hours before you're a pro.
Yeah.
So keep going.
I love it, man. I love it. I'll give you the last word on that one.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, just stay open to the possibilities, right? Because it seems like you're not, you're multifaceted. You've got all kinds of different things, and you kind of...
I love what I do.
You're willing, you love the thing as a whole, and you're learning from all the different angles of what you should do, and you know not to do it, and you're not lazy. That's a good thing.
No.
Don't feel entitled. Don't be lazy. Have thick skin when you need to, but also don't care about shit, too much, and don't be stubborn as fuck.
Just be open.
Yeah, exactly.
Be open.
Awesome. Well, dude, thank you so much for making the drive down here and coming on, and we really, really appreciate you. I think this is honestly one of my favorite podcasts so far.
Yeah, no, I can
Thanks for having me.
say without a doubt, man. No, it's really a pleasure to have you down here, to hang
you.
out like we have before, man, and just really dig into it. This has been great. So thank you so much for coming out.
Yeah.
For sure. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely.
And so, do you have anything that you want to kind of plug or talk about? No,
Nope.
there's certain projects
can't.
like that.
I wish I could.
Then maybe
I'll tell you what. When one of them announces, I'll call you guys back and I'll say, hey, let's do it again. I got something we can actually talk about.
you let us know anytime you need something to
So-
plug, and we're happy to blast that out. Talk about it at the top of the show.
For sure.
We're happy
anything.
to have you down anytime too.
Yeah,
Talk
no.
more about anything. Just shoot the shit.
Love coming.
Keep going back, because we could go on tangents with different actors and different movies and stuff
dude.
all fucking
yeah.
day.
That's the greatest thing about Hollywood. You can always keep going.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
There's just so much to talk about.
Absolutely. I mean, I think he's got these screensavers over here. Just
Look at this
for that
asshole.
sort of-
Oh yeah, this fucking guy.
at that Donald Duck.
Oh yeah, that was something that I learned right before we went on. Is that she might have dick pics of the president that she's.
I'm sure
trying to leak.
I'm sure
Yeah.
there's plenty.
So that's gonna be a fun story that's developing. I cannot wait.
Yeah, for everybody listening, we have Donald Trump and some girl who I don't know.
Stormy
who she is.
Daniels.
Stormy Daniels.
Daniels. There you go.
Oh,
I don't
man.
know
Oh,
who
read
she
the
is.
news.
I don't. I honestly.
I don't either.
yeah,
It says it
I
at the
don't.
bottom.
Politics is not boring anymore. Let me tell you that.
Yeah,
So-
It is like a reality show.
It's and I hate reality shows.
I hate reality.
We're, on that scene. But you know what? Thanks for coming on, man.
Yeah.
And we
and
appreciate
so,
you.
and so I think in close, do you have an Instagram or anything that you want to direct anybody to, or
Just Nic Lewis. If you look me up with no K, Nic Lewis. at whatever.
NICLEWI?
Yeah.
Okay. Anything
You
else
know?
that you want to direct somebody to? Something newer?
What?
Is there anything else that you want something that's already out that you want to direct people to?
No, I mean everybody's so different, and it's so hard to find our own styles. You're gonna like things that I don't like, and it's cool. Like that's why there's so many genres and so many avenues for film and television now. It's fucking dope.
Yeah.
Everybody's got a voice.
Yeah, it's
You
a
know what I
golden
mean?
age for
when I was
media.
a kid, we had 12 channels. Like we had Fox. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like Beverly Hills 90210 and The Simpsons.
When Fox was enjoyable to watch because you had The Simpsons.
It was
right?
so good back then.
And then now it's
Melrose Place.
90210. Do-do-do-do-do. Oh my gosh.
Yep.
Anyways. Well,
All right. Well, yeah, of course. As always, guys, please be sure to subscribe to us on first social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram at Let It Bleedcast, and be sure to, of course, go wherever you get your podcasts. We're up on iTunes, so leave us a review, leave us a comment, just show us some love, and of course, tell all your friends, all your neighbors, tell that weird guy that keeps hitting on you in the grocery store. Let him know to listen to this podcast because this is #1 podcast for weird guys that hit on you at the grocery store. That's a fact.
I
That's a
actually
fact.
read recently that we were the greatest podcast of all time.
Oh
and-
yeah. So you get my mom's newsletter.
Yeah, actually, yeah. Cool. I don't want to tell you how I got that, but you set yourself up.
How
Damn.
dare you, sir? Diana Arroyo is a saint.
He got mama jokes.
All right. Well, anyways,
I'm gonna drive my ass back to the valley.
there we go.
To
Thank
the
you all
bow.
for tuning in, and as always, let it bleed.